We finally get to put to bed today the worst first half of the year since 1970. Futures are red despite another cooler than expected inflation print and core PCE up 4.7. Bonds rally 10-year 302. The 2-year is back to 295, Jim. So we had German CPI this week, UMISH revised, and now this. Can we definitively say peak inflation's here?
I think yes. But I also think that when you listen to what the central banker said yesterday, they still speak in terms of ultra urgency, which then gets everyone worried, obviously, about a recession. I have Marty Musil on this, and Paychecks is a terrific CEO. There's a 30-page conference call, and it's all great. And then there's one line, which is, of course, it can't continue if there's a recession. And it was like the wolf pack went against him. And we were talking about how the fact that everything was going well, but he felt he had to say that. But that was the tenor, and now people are all cutting their price targets. I think that's what's consumed people. That in the end, we were bookended yesterday by Bed Bath & Beyond and Restoration Hardware, now RH. And we left here just sullen and gloomy.
Well, I mean, it's funny because RH was one of the initial earnings calls that said, look out ahead. And now the second guide lower in the course of a month, Jim.
Didn't buy stock. He got a big buyback. And Gary Freeman, it was just just a release saying things are bad. When he first started, he was the first to say, to talk about mortgage rates doubling, first to say that luxury home sales were down, but also first to say that all these things like Ukraine are changing the way the stock market. So Gary's got the zeitgeist. Now, I wanted Gary to come on. He did not come on. People have different things to do, but he's come on multiple times. And the emphasis is kind of how a lot of people feel right now. He was ahead of us, which is that stocks aren't going up. Bonds not that great a deal. The future's worse than the past. Everybody, if it's a stock, therefore it goes down. I mean, I'm doing research on stocks, and I'm like saying, what am I doing? As the stock goes down, so why am I bothering to do research? That's where we are. That typically has actually led to a better moment, but only because everyone's got negative. And I just think we're still not there yet. We don't have that crescendo that the late Mark Haynes used to talk about.
So you think there's some people who are not negative enough?
Exactly. I mean, we need every strategist to embrace Mike Wilson. I
mean, 3,400.
Yes. Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson. Everyone. And by the way, there are people who say, listen, if we don't go to 3,900 today, it's Katie bar the door. Well, I mean, every single price target that I see is so far away from where a stock is, it's incredible. And I'm doing work today to say, okay, so what happens if Bed Bath can't pay its leases? Well, who gets hurt? I mean, I haven't done that kind of work since the Great Recession. I mean, this is just a not great time.
Right.
Not great time.
Right. Yeah, as for, you're right about some leftover positivity. Wells is defending RH today. Cowen's target remains 300. Their operating margin guidance, Jim, also 21.5 at the midpoint now. They were in the mid-20s, 24.
Look, this is a tremendous place to shop with all the way back. It is they had big expansion plans for this year. I'd like to know whether they feel like they've got to pull some back. Gary Friedman's an amazing operator. And now immediately people say, well, you got to sell Williams-Sonoma because they're very different. They're very different. But I just think that Gary called it first. I think retail's terrible. I look at something like Kohl's and say, well, wasn't there supposed to be a deal, Kohl's? I don't see a deal. I look at Macy's after a great quarter. It's all the way back. Anything in the mall is just a disaster. And then some people say, listen, it's because everyone's traveling. Well, if that's the case, why is American Express down under 140? I think the answer is that everybody's confused. You want to take a trip, and then you hear Phil LeBeau say that your plane's been canceled. It's I literally, if I want to go on a trip, I would book like 5 different airlines. And then, of course, the biggest joke of all, the punchline, is that JetBlue wants to buy Spirit when the government's trying to block a deal between 2 defense contractors. And they still haven't even started the trial of Simon & Schuster merging with Random House. So, I mean, the government doesn't want any merger.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.